everyone, welcome back to AI learning, and we are here with the chapter 3 today. So, now the chapter 3 is all about AI branches based on dimensions. So, why is this I have kept in chapter 3 and started with human brain and understanding neurons, comparing that with artificial neuron. And what is it? What is this AI is dividing based on the dimensions and the branches? Right? Many a times, lot of us will get confused with lot of terms which is there out there in AI world. So when I say lot of branches, we hear a lot about robotics, we hear about game AI, we hear about NLP, we hear terms like vectors, we hear terms like calculations, we hear terms like labels, features, so many terms out there. And how does it all falls under what? So what are all the categories? So is there any way we can branch it out? So I've just tried my best to branch it out to help us understand in a more better way based on the dimensions. So there are 3 dimensions here which I'll be explaining about, and the dimension 1 is core AI approaches. So when we are solving a problem, what are all the approach we are taking keeping AI in the mind? Okay, so this is about dimension 1. So dimension 2 is about learning paradigms, how machine is capable of learning, and dimension 3 is application domains. So application domains, when I say what are all the domains AI is capable of solving the problem. Okay, so to start with dimension 1, which is core AI approaches. Core AI approaches. Now, so what is this core AI approaches? Though under the dimension 1 core AI approaches, first we term it as rule based. So when I say rule based or symbolic AI. So what is this rule based is about? It is about the logic, it is about the rules we defined, and it is about the knowledge representation and expert system. That we'll have knowledge representation and we'll have expert systems. So to give example about this rule based AI, you can consider like chess rules, right, and medical expert system. So these are all based on the rules and the logic which is written, where it categorizes and we solve the problems for these rule based AIs. So now in the same dimension 1 we have machine learning. So rule based is, as I mentioned, we have defined rules over there and we have logic over there. We have an expert system which is designed to act certain way. But what about machine learning? So system learns from the data here. So when I say system learns from the data, we don't need to mention any specific explicit rule for the machine learning. So the system itself learns from the data, and data is the very important aspect here. And it includes many models here. So we go deep into what is models and how are they built, how it is different from the algorithms, all that in a detailed way. But on a high level, machine learning, and it is about decision trees, linear regression, neural networks. There are a lot of already available models over there. So now deep learning is the third. So deep learning is actually a subset of machine learning. This is actually a subset of machine learning, and it uses the neural network which we discussed in our last chapter. It uses neural network and it learns automatically, right? So even in machine learning, in another dimension, in our learning paradigms, we go deep into how machine learning happens and what are all the available methodologies for the machine to learn. Right? Deep learning is one aspect of machine learning where it uses the neural network we learned in our last chapters, which it automatically learns. So now next is, for example, of the deep learning is like speech recognition, image recognition, and modern NLP models like LLMs, transformer models, all that uses deep learning. Okay, so this is about the dimension 1. So dimension 2 is about learning paradigms. So dimension 2 is about learning paradigms. So what is this learning paradigms, right? So this is about how a machine is capable of learning. So we have categorized into supervised learning, okay, and we've categorized into unsupervised learning, and we have reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning. What is supervised learning? What is unsupervised learning? What is reinforcement learning? Everything we go in detail, but just on a higher level. Supervised is nothing but you'll have a data plus you'll have a label attached to them. We again, as I mentioned, we'll go deep into what data, what labels and all. On a high level, understand supervised learning will have data and label attached to it. What is unsupervised learning? It will be a data without label. Okay, and then this is reinforcement learning is all about reward and punishment. And this is about dimension 2 category of AI branching. Next is dimension 3. So dimension 3, we take it as the application domains in AI. So what are all the application domains in AI which we will be capable of? These are basically common AI domains. So one is NLP, which is natural language processing. Okay, natural language processing. And computer vision is one domain, and we have speech processing, robotics. There are a lot of domains which we solve our problems related to all these domains under AI using the machine learning. Okay, robotics, game AI, right, and recommendation system. Okay, there can be even more domains available which we use the machine learning to solve all these problems. So on a high level, to recap, AI branches, to why understanding AI branches is important is because there are a lot of terms we need to know which category, what problems or what the solutions we are using for that problems falls into, which is why it is categorized into the core AI approaches where we use logic, rules and the expert system like a chess rule, medical expert system and all that. Then we'll have a machine learning. As we all know, in AI machine learning is a huge part, and everywhere we are using it. And how a system learns from the data and model. We use models to do that. And what are all the models available? What are all the learning in the machine learning? We go deep next. So now deep learning. Next, that is neural network. So as I explained in our previous chapter all about neural network. So deep learning is a subset of the machine learning. Under dimension 2, we'll see a learning paradigms which falls under machine learning, which is supervised learning, which uses data plus label, unsupervised learning, data without label, reinforcement learning, reward and punishment. And the dimension 3 is the application domains, which in AI we use to solve all the problems related to these using machine learning and deep learning. Okay, so in another depict of these branches, whereas artificial intelligence is on a high level where you'll have machine learning, one of the dimension which I explains, which will have supervised, unsupervised and semi-supervised and reinforcement. All this will go deep. Basically we'll go with the real-time problems to solve, and we'll have a deep learning which is also a part of machine learning. And in deep learning we have a lot of neural networks and transformers related concepts, and we go to those concepts as well when the time comes. And next is natural language processing, computer vision. All these are the application domains. So even in NLP we have a lot of concepts which comes like vectors and how the data will be stored or depicted with the machines can understand. There are a lot of concepts that NLP as well will be understanding. But for now, on a high level artificial intelligence, you can have all these branches which will be going and studying one after the other and understand deep and solve the problems related to all these. What are all the models available? What is a model basically? Right? Everything from scratch. On a high level, we can keep these in mind and we learn one after the other.